My name is Shelby Afton. I'm 28 years old. Last Saturday, 19 of my family members showed up at my grandmother's nursing home. She hadn't had a single visitor, besides me, in 5 years. Not one phone call on her birthday. Not one card at Christmas. Not one, "How are you feeling after your hip surgery?" 5 years of nothing. But then she won a $2.3 million lawsuit, and suddenly every single one of them remembered where she lived. They drove in from 3 different states. They brought flowers and bakery cakes and rehearsed apologies. My family packed that common room like it was a holiday reunion. What they didn't know was that my grandmother had been keeping a notebook. A small blue spiral notebook on her nightstand. She'd been writing in it every single night for 1,826 days. Every entry the same simple question: who showed up today? If you're watching this, please subscribe and let me know where you are watching from. Now, let me take you back 5 years, to the day my grandmother sold the house and everything changed. The house on Linden Road in Broward County had been in our family for 41 years. White clapboard, 2 stories, a wraparound porch with a swing that creaked every time the wind came through. Rose bushes along the front walk that my grandfather Gene planted the year he and my grandmother got married. 4 generations of Hargroves grew up smelling those roses. My grandmother Dorothy taught 3rd grade at Broward County Elementary for 37 years. She retired at 68. My grandfather died 4 years later, lung cancer, the slow kind. After that, she lived alone in that house for 12 years. She mowed her own lawn until she was 75. She drove herself to the grocery store. She balanced her own checkbook with a pencil and a calculator from 1994. Then, at 76, she fell in her kitchen reaching for a mixing bowl on the top shelf, fractured her left wrist. The doctor told her what she already knew, but hadn't wanted to hear. She couldn't live alone anymore. So she made a decision. She put the house on the market, sold it for $280,000, and used the money to pay for a room at Pinecrest Care Center, the closest facility with an opening. She didn't ask any of her 4 children for help. She didn't want to be a burden. Her words exactly. The family lost their minds. My Aunt Donna, the oldest, called it financial sabotage. My Uncle Craig said Grandma was throwing away the family legacy. My own mother, Linda, told me Grandma was being selfish and dramatic. $280,000. That's what the Hargrove family valued 41 years of memories at. And when Grandma chose her dignity over their inheritance, they chose silence over her. That was the last time most of them spoke to her voluntarily. I started visiting Grandma the week she moved into Pinecrest, every Tuesday after my overnight shift at Broward County General, and every Saturday morning at 10. I'm a night shift nurse. I know what it looks like when someone is alone too long. The skin gets pale. The eyes stop focusing on anything past the window. I'd bring 2 hazelnut coffees from the gas station on Route 12, the good kind, with real cream. We'd sit on the covered porch at Pinecrest if the weather was decent, or in her room if it wasn't. She'd tell me about the time Bobby Marsden ate paste in her 3rd grade class and how she had to call his mother. I'd tell her about the patient who showed up in the ER wearing a bathrobe and snow boots in July. We'd laugh. We'd drink our coffee. Sometimes we'd just sit. In the beginning, a few others came around. Uncle Craig stopped by twice in the first month. Aunt Marlene called on Christmas. My cousin Derek sent a text that said, "Thinking of you, Grandma," with no punctuation and a thumbs up emoji. By 6 months in, it was just me. I didn't make a big deal of it. Neither did Grandma. We never talked about who wasn't there. She never asked me to call anyone. I never volunteered. But I noticed things. The way she'd glance at the empty chair across the table. The way she'd check the mailbox on the counter at the nurse's station. Always empty. The way she once called me Jean, my grandfather's name. Then caught herself, laughed softly and said, "Sorry, sweetheart, you remind me of him." She wasn't confused. She was just remembering the last person who showed up every day without being asked. I plan to keep being that person. The phone call came on a Wednesday night, a year and a half in. Mom's name on the screen. She hadn't asked about Grandma in months. "Shelby, we need to talk." "About what?" "About you and your grandmother. Donna says the whole family is talking. They think you're," she paused, "positioning yourself." "Positioning myself for what?" "For the money. Whatever's left of the house sale." I sat on my couch in my 1-bedroom apartment, wearing scrubs that smelled like antiseptic, looking at a stack of student loan statements on my kitchen counter. My car was a 2014 Honda Civic with a cracked taillight I couldn't afford to fix. "Mom, Grandma is paying for Pinecrest with that money. There's nothing left to position for." "Exactly. That's what I told Donna. So why do you keep going?" The question hung there like she genuinely didn't understand. "Because she's my grandmother. That's the only reason I've ever needed." Mom sighed. Donna's calling you the granddaughter who's playing the long game, her words. And Craig agrees. They think you're investing time so you get whatever's left. There's nothing left, Mom. Then stop going. If there's nothing to gain, why put yourself through it? I remember gripping my phone so hard the case cracked along the edge. My mother had just told me, in plain English, that visiting my 80-year-old grandmother only made sense if there was money involved. I'm not stopping. Shelby, I'm not stopping, Mom. She hung up. I drove to Meadowbrook that Saturday like every Saturday before. I didn't tell Grandma about the call. I didn't tell anyone in the family about my visits anymore. I didn't know that 3 years later, Aunt Donna, the woman who called me a long game player, would drive 4 hours to Meadowbrook carrying sunflowers and tears, all because of a 7-figure number. Year 2 is when I stopped trusting Pinecrest. It started small. Grandma's clothes weren't getting changed as often. Her water pitcher was empty when I arrived on Tuesdays. Empty since the night before, based on the condensation ring. The call button next to her bed had been broken for 2 weeks. Nobody had filed a maintenance request. Then the bruises showed up. I'm a nurse. I know what a fall bruise looks like. It follows gravity, blooms downward, yellows at the edges within days. The marks on Grandma's forearm didn't match that pattern. 2 purple ovals, evenly spaced, on the inside of her left arm, right where someone would grab to pull her up too fast. I slipped in the bathroom, she told me. It's nothing. Grandma, those marks aren't from slipping. She looked at me for a long time. Then she looked at the door. The girl on night shift gets rough sometimes. She's young. She doesn't mean it. I asked the floor supervisor to see Grandma's care log. Denied. I asked to speak with the facility director. She's in a meeting. I asked for an incident report on the bathroom fall. We'll look into it. I drove Grandma to Dr. Wendy Pratt, her primary care physician outside the facility. Dr. Pratt documented everything. Moderate dehydration, mild malnutrition, 2 unexplained contusions inconsistent with a self-reported fall. Dr. Pratt looked at me over her glasses and said, "Thank you for bringing her in. If you hadn't noticed this, it could have gotten much worse." 2 weeks later, Grandma fell again at Pinecrest. This time she wasn't lucky. They found her on the bathroom floor at 4 a.m. Her right hip was fractured in 2 places. Nobody from the family called her after the surgery. I got Grandma out of Pinecrest within 72 hours of her surgery. I filed a formal complaint with the state ombudsman's office for long-term care. I pulled inspection records. Pinecrest was operating at 40% below required staffing levels. 7 complaints in 18 months. 3 unreported falls, including Grandma's. I found Meadowbrook Senior Living 20 minutes outside of town. Smaller, cleaner. A nurse named Patty Owens ran the floor with a kind of calm authority that made me trust her within 5 minutes. I put down the deposit with my own savings. $1,400 I'd been setting aside for new tires and a dental crown I'd been putting off. Then I called the family. Craig picked up first. Mom fell? Broken hip? Well, she's 80. Old people fall. Donna's response was shorter. Shelby, you're making this bigger than it is. Mom said, "Don't cause trouble, honey. Let it be." Nobody asked if Grandma was in pain. Nobody offered to split the deposit. Nobody suggested driving down for the weekend. I sat in the Meadowbrook parking lot after getting Grandma settled in her new room, the one with the window facing the garden. And I cried in my car for 15 minutes. Then I wiped my face, drove to a lawyer's office in Raleigh, and sat down across from a woman named Dana Prescott, who specialized in nursing home negligence cases. She reviewed Dr. Pratt's documentation, the ombudsman report, the staffing records. "This case is strong," she said, "but you should know, it could take 2 to 3 years." I thought about every Tuesday and Saturday for the past 2 years. 520 visits. I knew how to wait. "We're filing," I said. That night, I sat in the hallway outside Grandma's new room at Meadowbrook, reading the ombudsman's inspection summary on my phone. The fluorescent light buzzed overhead. A resident down the hall was watching Jeopardy at full volume. The report was clinical, dry language for ugly facts. Pinecrest Care Center, staffing deficiency of 40% relative to state mandate. 7 formal complaints in 18 months. 3 falls not reported within the required 24-hour window. One resident, my grandmother, sustained a bilateral hip fracture resulting in emergency surgical intervention. I set the phone down and did the math I'd been avoiding. If I hadn't been visiting twice a week, nobody would have noticed the bruises. Nobody would have taken her to Dr. Pratt. Nobody would have questioned the broken call button or the empty water pitcher. She could have fallen a 4th time, a 5th. And at 80 years old, with a fractured hip and no advocate, she might not have gotten back up. My family treated my visits like a hobby, like something embarrassing I'd eventually outgrow. But those Tuesday and Saturday drives were the only reason my grandmother was alive and safe in this room, instead of dehydrated on a bathroom floor at Pinecrest. I signed the retainer agreement with Dana Prescott the next morning. The lawsuit was filed that week. For the next 3 years, the case moved through depositions, document requests, and mediation. During those 3 years, Grandma didn't receive a single phone call from any of her 4 children, but she received something else. A small blue spiral notebook from the Dollar General on Route 12. $1.25. She bought it herself on a supervised outing with Nurse Patty. And every night, before she turned off her reading lamp, she opened it and wrote. Our family group chat had 23 members. iMessage, green and blue bubbles depending on who had what phone. Donna never officially declared herself in charge, but she ran that thread the way she ran everything, by talking first and loudest. I used to send updates about Grandma. After the hip surgery, I posted a photo of her in her new room at Meadowbrook, sitting in a wheelchair by the garden window, smiling, wearing the lavender cardigan I'd brought from her old closet. Grandma's settling in at Meadowbrook. She's doing physical therapy 3 times a week. She says hi to everyone. 3 hours. No replies. That same evening, Donna posted a photo of her daughter Madison's college graduation. 17 heart reactions in 10 minutes. Craig replied with 3 fire emojis. Mom sent a confetti gif. I scrolled through the chat for the next month. Every time I mentioned Grandma, her PT progress, her new reading glasses, the bird feeder Nurse Patty helped her hang outside her window, the response was the same. Silence, or Donna pivoting. So who's hosting Thanksgiving this year? Sending updates about Grandma into that group chat felt like shouting into a room where everyone had already decided not to hear me. Then I found out about the second group chat. Aunt Marlene, the youngest, the quiet one, accidentally forwarded a message to the wrong thread. It popped up in the main chat at 9:14 p.m. on a Tuesday. She deleted it within seconds. But I read fast. The message said, "Don't worry, Mom won't last another winter, and the nursing home is eating through her money. There won't be anything left to fight over." Marlene texted me privately 10 minutes later. Wrong chat. Please forget you saw that. I didn't forget. Grandma turned 79 at Meadowbrook. I brought lemon cupcakes, the kind with the buttercream swirl on top, her favorite since before I was born. I baked them myself at 2 in the morning after my shift, standing in my kitchen in socks and scrubs, frosting still warm. Nurse Patty brought a card signed by every staff member on the floor. 12 names in 12 different handwritings. Grandma opened it slowly, read each name out loud, and thanked Patty like she'd been handed a diploma. Then she looked at the mail slot on the counter by the nurse's station. The little plastic cubby with Hargrove printed on a label. It was empty. She didn't say anything. She ate her cupcake. She told me the lemon was just right. After we cleaned up, she reached for the blue notebook on her nightstand. She uncapped a pen, a cheap ballpoint, black ink, and wrote in her careful teacher's handwriting. October 14th, birthday. Shelby came. Nurse Patty sang. No one else. She wrote it like attendance. No emotion. Just the record. That was the first time I really saw the notebook up close. I watched her close it and set it under her reading lamp, spine facing out. It was already a third of the way full. I didn't ask what else was in it. She didn't offer. That evening, I checked my phone in the parking lot. Mom had sent a message in the main group chat at 11:47 p.m. Happy birthday, Mom. 1 minute before midnight, as if she'd set a reminder and nearly forgotten even that. Nobody else said anything. Not Donna, not Craig, not Marlene, not a single one of Grandma's 14 grandchildren besides me. 1 cupcake, 1 card from strangers, 1 name in a notebook. 79 years, and that was the whole celebration. Thanksgiving, year 3. I decided to try one more time. Donna hosted at her house in Raleigh, the same split level she'd been refinancing to cover her real estate debts, though nobody was supposed to know that. 22 relatives around a rented folding table, turkey from the honey-baked ham store, football on the TV in the den. I waited until the plates were cleared. Then I stood up. Grandma is at Meadowbrook, 40 minutes from here. She's doing well. I was thinking maybe Sunday, some of us could drive over together. Just a visit. Donna set down her wineglass. Shelby, Mom is fine. The nursing home takes care of her. And you visit every week. She's not lonely. She is lonely, Aunt Donna. She writes in a notebook every day. Who visited, who called. It's only my name. Well, honey, that's because you keep going. You're the one she sees. 40 minutes, that's all it takes. Donna looked around the table. She had the room. She always had the room. We all grieve differently, Shelby. She's not dead, Aunt Donna. She's waiting. The table went quiet. Forks on plates. The football commentator's voice filling the gap. Craig stared at his sweet potato casserole. Mom pressed her lips together. Marlene's eyes were fixed on the napkin she was shredding in her lap. Donna smiled, the tight, controlled smile she used on difficult clients, and said, "Let's not ruin the holiday." That was it. Subject closed. I was the one who'd made things uncomfortable. I was the one who'd turned Thanksgiving into a guilt trip. Donna didn't even have to argue. She just reframed me as the problem. I drove home that night gripping the steering wheel until my knuckles ached, and I finally admitted the thing I'd been refusing to believe. My family didn't forget Grandma. They chose to stay away. 2 days after Thanksgiving, Donna sent me a private text. 3 messages, back to back, at 7:22 a.m. "I don't know what game you're playing, but you need to stop. You are making Mom sad by giving her hope that everyone will visit. When they don't, she's disappointed. That's your fault. If you really loved her, you would let her adjust to her situation instead of stirring things up." I read the messages 3 times. Each time, the logic twisted tighter. Donna was telling me that visiting Grandma was the cruelty, that showing up was what caused the pain, not the absence of everyone else, but the presence of me, reminding Grandma of what she didn't have. It was the most sophisticated piece of blame shifting I'd ever seen. And for about 30 seconds, sitting on the edge of my bed at 6 in the morning with my scrub still on from the night shift, I almost believed it. Almost. Then I thought about Grandma's notebook, the careful handwriting, the dates, the same entry over and over. Shelby came, no one else. Donna wasn't protecting Grandma from disappointment. Donna was protecting herself from accountability. As long as nobody visited, nobody had to feel guilty. I was the inconvenient proof that showing up was possible, and they were choosing not to. I didn't reply to Donna's texts. I screenshot them, saved them in a folder on my phone labeled Family, and drove to Meadowbrook that Saturday with 2 hazelnut coffees and a paperback mystery novel Grandma had asked for. I didn't need Donna to understand. I didn't need anyone's permission. I just needed Grandma to know I was still there. She was sitting by the window when I walked in. She looked up, smiled, and said, "You brought the good coffee." "Always, Grandma." I want to pause here for a second. If you're someone who's been showing up for a family member, driving across town after a long shift, making phone calls, nobody returns, sitting in rooms where the only name in the visitor log is yours, I see you. I really do. Drop a comment and tell me, have you ever been the only one who showed up? Because I think there are way more of us than anyone wants to admit. Hit subscribe if this story is hitting close to home. Now let me tell you what happened next, because this is where everything changed. Over the next year, I started paying closer attention to the notebook. Grandma never hid it. She wrote in it right in front of me. Every visit, she'd pick it up from the nightstand, uncap her ballpoint, and add a line before I left. She'd say my name out loud as she wrote it, the way a teacher reads attendance. "Shelby, Tuesday." One afternoon I asked her directly, "Grandma, what's in the notebook?" She looked up over her reading glasses, the silver-framed ones I'd bought her after the hip surgery, and said, "My schedule, same as when I was teaching. Who came, who called, who sent something." "Why do you keep track?" She set the pen down. "Because I want to remember, and because I want proof that I'm not making it up in my head." I didn't understand the second part then. I do now. She turned the notebook so I could see the open page. Neat columns, date on the left, entry on the right. Her handwriting was small but perfectly even. 37 years of writing on chalkboards will do that. Tuesday, March 7th, Shelby visited, brought coffee, hazelnut. Wednesday, March 8th, no visitors, no calls. Thursday, March 9th, no visitors, no calls. Saturday, March 11th, Shelby visited, brought mystery novel. Every page looked the same. Dates, my name. No one else. Some days were completely blank except for the date and 2 words. No visitors. I did a quick count in my head. She'd been writing in this notebook for over 3 years at that point. That was more than 1,000 entries. 1,000 days of the same answer. She closed it, set it back on the nightstand, and picked up her crossword puzzle. I didn't know then that this notebook would silence a room full of 19 people in under 4 minutes. One Saturday, I walked into Meadowbrook at my usual 10 o'clock, and Nurse Patty met me at the front desk. "Your grandma had a visitor this morning," Patty said, and my heart did something complicated, half hope, half dread. "Who?" "A Mr. Caldwell, attorney. He was here for about an hour." I knew Grandma's lawsuit attorney, Dana Prescott, out of Raleigh. James Caldwell was a name I'd never heard. I found Grandma in her room, sitting in her chair by the window, looking perfectly calm. The blue notebook was on her lap. "Grandma, Patty said a lawyer came this morning. Mr. Caldwell?" She nodded. I'm updating my will, sweetheart. Just routine. I felt something pull tight in my chest. Not greed, I promise you that. Fear. When someone in their 80s starts talking about their will, it lands different. Is everything okay? Everything is fine. Mr. Caldwell says my wishes are very clear now. No room for interpretation. She said it the way she used to announce a pop quiz. Matter of fact, with just a sliver of something underneath. I didn't ask what the will said. I didn't want her to think for even a second that I was there for the money. Donna's voice, playing the long game, echoed in the back of my skull, and I hated that it had taken up space there. Okay, Grandma, as long as you're happy with it. I am, she smiled. Now, did you bring the coffee? We drank our hazelnut coffees. We did the crossword together. She got 14 across before I finished reading the clue. We didn't mention Mr. Caldwell again. I found out later that she'd met with him 3 times in 2 months, and that she'd brought the blue notebook to every single appointment. The call came on a Thursday afternoon in February. I was in the break room at the hospital, eating a turkey sandwich between patients. Shelby, Grandma's voice was steady, the same tone she used to announce spelling test results. The lawsuit is finished. Pinecrest agreed to settle. How much? $2.3 million. I dropped my sandwich. A piece of lettuce landed on my shoe. Grandma, don't cry, sweetheart. It's not about the money. I didn't sue them for the money. Then why? Because they need to know they can't treat old people like furniture and walk away clean. I cried anyway. Standing in the break room of Bryan County General with lettuce on my shoe and tears running into my collar. Not because of the number, because someone had finally acknowledged in writing that my grandmother had been mistreated, and that it mattered. The settlement made the Bryan County Register 2 weeks later. Small article, legal section, page 6. Elderly resident awarded $2.3 million in negligent settlement against local care facility. Grandma's name wasn't in the article, but in a county of 11,000 people, it didn't need to be. Donna found it first. She forwarded the article to the second group chat, the one without me, the one I wasn't supposed to know existed. Marlene told me later what Donna wrote above the link. Did you see this? $2.3 million. Within 48 hours, Donna organized what she called a surprise family reunion at Meadowbrook. She created an event in the group chat. She assigned people to bring food. She wrote, "Let's go visit Mom/Grandma and celebrate the good news." 19 people confirmed they were coming. 19 people who hadn't called, visited, or mailed a card in 5 years. Grandma called me Friday night. Her voice was calm, almost amused. "They're all coming Saturday, sweetheart. All of them. Isn't that something?" Saturday morning. I pull into the Meadowbrook parking lot at 8, same as always. 2 hazelnut coffees in the cup holder. The sun is barely up, pale gold through the oak trees lining the drive. When I walk into Grandma's room, she's already dressed. Navy blue cardigan, the one she wore on her last day of teaching. Hair combed and pinned. A touch of lipstick, the soft pink shade she saves for occasions. "You look nice, Grandma." "Thank you, sweetheart. I wanted to look like myself." I notice her hands are steady, no trembling. Her eyes are sharp, the way they get when she's grading papers or adding numbers. Focused, deliberate. "Are you okay? About today?" She looks at me. Calm, clear. "I've been waiting for this day for a long time, Shelby." I assume she means the family visit, that she's happy they're finally coming. I hand her the coffee, and we drink it quietly while Nurse Patty helps set up the common room. Extra chairs borrowed from the dining hall, 3 tables pushed together. Patty brings out the good cups, the ones with the blue rim, the ones reserved for holiday gatherings. "Set up 3 kinds of tea," Grandma tells Patty. "Earl Grey, lemon, and peppermint, like a parent-teacher conference." Patty smiles. "You expecting a big crowd, Mrs. Hargrove?" 19, I counted. She says it the same way she'd have said 22 students on the first day of school. Precise. Prepared. I notice the blue notebook tucked on her lap, half hidden under a neatly folded cloth napkin. She sees me notice. She doesn't explain. "Grandma, you sure you're ready for this?" She takes a slow sip of hazelnut coffee, sets the cup on her tray table, and folds her hands. "I've been ready for 1,826 days." Donna arrives first, 10 on the dot. She walks in carrying a bouquet of sunflowers wrapped in brown paper, heels clicking on the linoleum. "Mom!" She crosses the common room in 4 strides, arms wide, eyes already glistening. "Oh, Mom, I'm so sorry it's been so long." She hugs Grandma. Grandma hugs back, gently, briefly, pats Donna's shoulder. The sunflowers are wrong. Grandma's favorite has always been daisies, white ones with yellow centers. She grew them along the walkway at the Linden Roadhouse for 30 years. Donna doesn't know this. Craig comes next with Teresa and their 2 kids. Teresa carries a bakery cake from Publix, the price sticker still on the plastic dome. She leans in and kisses Grandma's cheek. "You look wonderful, Mama Dot." Grandma has never been called Mama Dot by anyone. Teresa invented it on the drive over. Mom arrives 20 minutes late. She walks in without looking at me, gives Grandma a quick hug, more like a lean, and says, "Hi, Mom." Then she sits in the far corner and studies her phone. Marlene shows up with her husband and 3 kids. Her eyes are already red before she crosses the threshold. She's the only one who looks like she's been crying on the way here. The rest filter in over the next half hour. Cousins, spouses, in-laws. Someone brings a bottle of wine. Someone brings a scarf and a gift bag. Someone brings nothing but a smile and a loud voice. 19 people fill the common room. Grandma greets each one by name. She asks about their children, by name. She remembers ages, schools, hobbies. She hasn't seen these people in 5 years, but she remembers everything. I stand in the corner, watching. She isn't surprised. She knew exactly who was coming. She knew exactly how many. The small talk lasts about 30 minutes. It has the bright, brittle quality of a first day at a new job. Too many compliments, too many exclamations, too much laughter at things that aren't funny. "Mom, the place looks beautiful. They're really taking good care of you. We should have come sooner. Life just gets so crazy, you know?" Grandma nods through all of it. She smiles. She accepts the sunflowers that aren't her favorite. She thanks Teresa for the cake she didn't pick out. She doesn't correct anyone. She pours tea. Then Donna steers the conversation. "Mom, we're all just so happy about the settlement. You went through so much at that awful place. We should have been there for you." Craig nods on cue. "Yeah, Mom. We should have been around more during all that." Teresa jumps in ahead of schedule. "Mama Dot, we were thinking, we'd love to talk about the future, about how you want to use the settlement money." The room gets very still. 2 seconds of silence that feels like 20. Teresa said the quiet part out loud, and she said it too soon. Donna shoots Teresa a look. Quick, sharp, the kind that says, "Wait." Grandma sets her teacup down. The porcelain clicks against the saucer. A small sound in a suddenly quiet room. "Actually," Grandma says, "Teresa is right. Let's talk." Donna's face relaxes. Craig shifts forward. Teresa allows herself a small, satisfied smile. "But first," Grandma says, "I'd like to read you something." She reaches down to her lap, lifts the folded napkin, and picks up the blue notebook. Small, spiral-bound. The cover is soft from handling, the corners bent from 5 years of nightly use. 19 people look at the notebook. Nobody has any idea what's inside. Grandma puts on her reading glasses. The silver-framed ones I bought her 3 years ago from the lens crafters in the Briar County Mall. She settles them on the bridge of her nose and opens the notebook to the first page. I can see the date from where I'm standing. March 8th, 2021. The day she started writing. She looks around the room, slowly. She makes eye contact with each of her 4 children. Then she speaks, and her voice is the voice I remember from parent-teacher nights. Clear, measured, unhurried. 5 years ago, when I moved into this facility, I started keeping a simple record. Every day, I wrote down who visited me, who called me, and who sent me a card or a letter. That's all. Just the facts. She pauses. The room is motionless. Nurse Patty stands in the doorway, hands clasped in front of her. Donna lets out a small laugh, a nervous reflex. "Mom, you really don't have to." Grandma raises one hand, not sharply, not dramatically, the way a teacher signals a classroom to settle down. "I'd like to read. You all drove a long way to be here. Give me 5 minutes." Donna closes her mouth. Craig crosses his arms. Teresa stares at the notebook like it might catch fire. Mom, my mother, Linda, sits perfectly still, her face unreadable. Marlene is already crying, quietly, into her sleeve. I look at Grandma, and I realize something I missed earlier this morning. She told me, "I've been waiting for this day for a long time." I thought she meant the reunion. She meant the reading. She lowers her eyes to the first entry, and in a calm, even voice, the voice of a woman who has had 5 years to prepare, she begins. March 8th, 2021. Shelby visited, brought coffee, no one else. Her voice is steady, teacher steady. March 9th, no visitors, no calls. March 10th, no visitors, no calls. March 13th, Shelby visited, Saturday, brought daisies, no one else. She reads each line the way she used to read attendance. No emphasis, no accusation, just the record. 30 seconds in, and the room begins to understand. Craig's jaw tightens. He looks at the floor. April 2nd, 2021, Easter Sunday. No visitors, no calls, no cards. Shelby called at 7 a.m. 1 minute. Donna's arms are crossed. Her expression is locked somewhere between impatience and alarm. July 4th, 2021, Independence Day. No visitors. October 14th, 2021, my birthday. Shelby came. Nurse Patty sang. No one else. 2 minutes. Marlene is crying without sound, her daughter's arm around her shoulders. Teresa has stopped smiling. Craig presses his palms flat against his knees. December 25th, 2021, Christmas. Shelby visited, brought a cardigan and lemon cupcakes. No calls from children. Grandma turns the pages. She doesn't read every entry. There are too many. She reads a selection, 50 entries pulled from across 5 years. Birthdays, holidays, random Tuesdays. Each one the same. Shelby visited. No one else. She reads for about 4 minutes. Then she stops. She holds the notebook up so the room can see it. Every page filled. Both sides. 5 years of entries in her careful, even handwriting. 1,826 days, she says. 1 visitor. She closes the notebook and sets it on her lap. The room is silent. The only sound is Marlene crying and the ticking of the wall clock above the door. Nobody speaks. Grandma folds her hands and waits. I need to stop here because I still remember this moment like it was 5 minutes ago. I was standing in the corner of that room, watching 19 faces change. If you've ever sat with someone the rest of the family forgot, if you've been the one making those drives every week, signing the visitor log, bringing the coffee nobody else thinks to bring, type, I showed up in the comments. I want to know you're here. And please, stay with me. Because what my grandmother said next is the part that still keeps me up at night. 15 seconds of silence. I count them because counting is the only thing keeping me from losing it. Donna breaks first. Reflex, self-defense. Mom, we were busy. Life happens. We always cared about you. Grandma doesn't argue. She opens the notebook to a flagged page, a small yellow sticky tab marking the spot, and reads aloud. June 15th, 2023. Donna posted family barbecue photos on Facebook. 47 likes. Donna's house is 38 minutes from Meadowbrook. No visit. Donna's face goes white. Craig tries next. His voice cracks on the first word. Mom, I know we were wrong, but we're here now. Grandma looks at Craig. The same steady gaze she probably gave 1,000 fidgeting third graders over 37 years. I know you're here now, Craig. I also know why. Teresa starts to stand. Craig grabs her wrist, pulls her back down. She sits. Marlene can't hold it anymore. She sobs. Loud, jagged, the kind that bends you forward. Mom, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Grandma's expression changes for the first time. Something softens around her eyes. Something that looks like grief held very carefully in check. I know, Marlene. I know. My mother is the one I can't stop watching. Linda sits in her corner chair, spine straight, eyes fixed on a point above Grandma's head. She doesn't cry. She doesn't apologize. Her jaw is set, and I recognize the expression. I've seen it in the mirror. She's not ashamed. She's angry. Angry at being exposed. I stand in the corner with my arms at my sides, and I say nothing. This isn't my moment. It's Grandma's. She's been composing this for 1,826 days, and she doesn't need me to add a single word. Donna stands up. Her chair scrapes the floor. This isn't fair, Mom. Her voice has shifted. The teary daughter is gone. The real Donna is here now. You sold the house without asking any of us. You chose to move into a nursing home. You pushed us away. She turns to me. And you put her up to this, didn't you? You've been in her ear for 5 years with nobody else around. You told her to keep that notebook. You brought the lawyers, and now you're having her read it in front of everyone so we look like monsters. Every face in the room swivels between Donna and me. I feel the weight of it, the accusation, the redirected blame, the familiar playbook of turning defense into attack. I open my mouth. Grandma raises her hand again. Donna. Her voice hasn't changed, still the same measured tone. I sold my house because I didn't want any of my children to have to wipe my chin and change my sheets. I moved to a nursing home because I wanted to keep my dignity. And I kept this notebook because I've been a teacher for 37 years and I write everything down. That's what teachers do. She pauses. Shelby didn't tell me to do any of it. Shelby just showed up. That's all she ever did. Donna stands there with her purse strap in one hand, looking for the rebuttal. But there isn't one. Every word Grandma said is true, and everyone in the room knows it. I didn't sell a house, Donna. I didn't change my phone number. I didn't move to another state. I was right here the whole time, 38 minutes from your barbecue. Donna sits back down, slowly. The purse stays in her lap. Nobody else speaks. Donna turns toward the doorway, where Nurse Patty has been standing with her hands folded since the reading began. Is she confused? Does she have dementia? Is that notebook even accurate? Patty steps forward. Not far, just enough to be fully inside the room. She's wearing her Meadowbrook polo and her ID badge, and her voice is the same calm, clinical tone I've heard her use 100 times with anxious family members at the facility. Mrs. Hargrove is one of the sharpest residents I've worked with in 15 years of nursing. She completes the New York Times crossword every morning, in pen. Her cognitive assessments are consistently in the top percentile for her age group. Patty looks directly at Donna. And I can confirm one thing. In 3 years at this facility, Miss Afton is the only family member who has ever signed our visitor log. Craig's head drops. Teresa covers her mouth with her hand. Donna opens her mouth and closes it again. No rebuttal, no pivot, just silence. Patty adds quietly, Mrs. Hargrove has over 200 books on her shelf. I've never seen a single one arrive from family. They're all from Shelby. That one hits different. Books aren't money. Books are proof that someone knows what you like to read, that someone is paying attention. 200 books over 5 years is 40 books a year, a new one almost every week. I never thought about the number until Patty said it out loud. Marlene turns to me. Her face is swollen from crying. She mouths 2 words. I'm sorry. Not to Grandma, to me. Because Marlene understands what the rest of them are still fighting. I wasn't positioning myself. I was just there. I was the only one who was just there. Grandma closes the notebook. She folds her hands over it. Small hands, the knuckles swollen from arthritis, the nails trimmed and clean. I want you all to know one more thing. The room braces. I can feel it. The collective tightening. The way everyone shifts in their seat at the same time, like a jury waiting for the verdict. My will has been finalized 6 months ago, with my attorney, James Caldwell. It has been notarized, witnessed by 2 independent parties, and my physician has confirmed in writing that I am of sound mind and clear judgment. She lets that settle. I won't read the will today. That's Mr. Caldwell's job when the time comes. But I want to be clear about one thing. The settlement money is not family money. It is compensation for what I endured at Pinecrest. The falls, the broken hip, the nights I lay on the floor waiting for someone to answer a call button that didn't work. Donna's voice tight. The old will split everything equally between the 4 of us. Grandma looks at Donna. No anger, no satisfaction, just facts. The old will was written when I had 4 children who visited. Nobody moves. I updated my will based on this notebook, on 5 years of evidence. I'm not angry, Donna. I'm not punishing anyone. I'm 82 years old, and I've learned something very simple. She pauses. She looks at every face in the room, her children, her grandchildren, the spouses and partners and in-laws who came carrying flowers and guilt and appetites for a share of $2.3 million. You don't give your time to people who don't show up, and you don't leave what you have to people who didn't stay. The clock ticks. Marlene sobs. Donna's jaw is clenched so tight I can see the muscle working. Grandma picks up her teacup and takes a sip. The room breaks apart. Marlene folds forward in her chair, crying so hard her whole body shakes. Her daughter, 22, home from college, wraps both arms around her, and the daughter is crying too. For a grandmother she barely remembers visiting. Craig sits frozen, hands on his knees, eyes wet, staring at the tile floor like it might open up and swallow him. Teresa is motionless for the first time all morning. She hasn't said a word since Grandma quoted the barbecue post. Donna stands, grabs her purse, takes 3 steps toward the door, then stops. She turns halfway and sees every face in the room watching her, waiting. She can't be the one who walks out after what just happened, not in front of everyone. She sits back down. Her face is a mask, jaw locked, eyes dry, color drained from her cheeks. My mother looks at me across the room. Our eyes meet. Her lips tremble once, and she presses them together. She doesn't speak. She doesn't cry. She just looks at me, and I see something I've never seen from her before. Not regret exactly, but the beginning of it. The first hairline crack. I walk to Grandma's wheelchair. I kneel down beside her. I take her hand, and she wraps her fingers around mine. Gentle, the way she used to hold my hand when I was 5, and we'd walk to the mailbox at the Linden Roadhouse. Thank you, she whispers, so only I can hear. For every Tuesday, every Saturday. I'll be here next Tuesday too, Grandma. she smiles. Then she picks up the blue notebook from her lap and places it in my hands. Keep it, sweetheart. I don't need to write anymore. The sunflowers on the table are already wilting. The Publix cake sits untouched, the price sticker catching the light. Donna leaves first. No goodbye to Grandma, no goodbye to anyone. She walks across the common room, heels sharp on the floor, pushes through the glass doors, and crosses the parking lot to her white SUV. Through the window, I watch her sit in the driver's seat for a full minute before pulling out her phone. She's calling someone, probably a lawyer. Craig and Teresa follow 5 minutes later. Craig stops in the doorway. He turns back. He looks at Grandma sitting in her wheelchair, hands folded, tea going cold on the tray table. He opens his mouth. I can see his lips part from across the room, and then he closes it. Teresa tugs his elbow. They walk out together, and the glass door swings shut behind them. Marlene stays. She pulls her chair next to Grandma's wheelchair and sits there, holding her mother's hand, saying nothing, for 10 minutes. Not a word, just contact. Dorothy strokes Marlene's hair with her free hand. The same gesture I imagine she used when Marlene was 6 and afraid of thunderstorms. I know, Marlene. I know you were scared. Marlene nods, unable to speak. Mom is last. She walks up to Grandma slowly, the way you approach someone you've wronged and haven't figured out how to apologize to yet. Mom, I'm sorry. Grandma looks at her middle daughter. The softness from earlier is gone, replaced by something more tired. Linda, I don't need an apology. I needed you to show up, but now go home. I'm tired. Mom leaves without looking at me. She walks past the untouched cake, past the wrong flowers, past the empty teacups, and out into the parking lot where she sits in her car for a long time before starting the engine. The common room empties. The staff clears the tables. Patty folds the extra chairs. Grandma and I sit by the garden window, in the quiet that follows. Monday morning. I'm in the hospital break room pouring my second coffee when Marlene calls. Donna contacted 3 attorneys over the weekend. She's trying to contest the will. On what grounds? Undue influence. She's claiming you manipulated Grandma while nobody else was around. I set down my coffee. Marlene, I didn't even know the will existed until Grandma mentioned it last year. I know, but that's Donna's angle. She sent a long message to the group chat about it. I check my phone. Donna's message is a wall of text, punctuated with legal terms she clearly Googled, underlined phrases about mental competency and isolation of the elderly. The gist: Shelby Afton spent 5 years alone with a vulnerable old woman and turned her against her family. I read it twice. Then I type one reply. The notebook has 1,826 entries. Every day, every visitor, every call. Anyone who wants to read it can come to Meadowbrook. I hit send. No one replies. That evening, Marlene calls again. The lawyers all told her the same thing. If the will was prepared with independent witnesses, notarized and supported by a physician's competency evaluation, there's almost no legal basis for a challenge, especially with the notebook as documented evidence for the change. I exhale for what feels like the first time in 3 days. And Shelby, I want you to know something. I'm not going to be part of any challenge. I'm not fighting the will. I deserved what happened in that room. I sit with that for a minute. My aunt, the one who accidentally forwarded that message about Grandma not lasting another winter, is the one who broke from the pack first. Thank you, Aunt Marlene. Don't thank me. I should have called you 5 years ago. The following week, Grandma asks me to visit Mr. Caldwell at his office. Not to discuss the contents of the will, she's clear about that, but so I understand the process. James Caldwell's office is in a converted Victorian on Main Street in Clayton, 20 minutes from Meadowbrook. Bookshelves floor to ceiling, a wooden desk that looks older than I am. He shakes my hand and gestures to a chair. Your grandmother is one of the most organized clients I've ever worked with, he says, in my 30 years of practice. He tells me the will was prepared in full compliance with North Carolina law. 2 independent witnesses, both Meadowbrook staff members, neither of whom is me. Dorothy's primary care physician, Dr. Pratt, provided a written cognitive evaluation confirming full mental capacity. The will was notarized at the Clayton Public Library by a state-certified notary. Mrs. Hargrove brought the notebook to every meeting, Caldwell says. Not because I asked. Because she wanted it on record that her decisions were based on documented facts, not emotion, not persuasion, not anyone else's influence. He leans back in his chair. I can't tell you the contents of the will. That's confidential until the appropriate time. But I can tell you this. Your grandmother knew exactly what she wanted. She explained exactly why, and the reasoning is airtight. I nod. I don't ask for details. I don't want to know. Not yet. Not like this. Mr. Caldwell, if my aunt challenges the will, She won't win, but she's welcome to try. He pauses. Miss Afton, your grandmother isn't someone who was influenced. She's someone who was informed. There's a significant difference. I drive back to Meadowbrook and sit with Grandma for an hour. We do the crossword. She beats me by 6 clues. Neither of us mentions the lawyer, the will, or the family. We just sit. In a county of 11,000 people, news doesn't need the newspaper. Within 2 weeks of the Saturday reading, the story had traveled through Bryan County the way stories do in small towns. At the diner counter, in the church parking lot, across the fence between neighbors who've known each other for 30 years. The details shifted slightly with each retelling, but the core stayed the same. Dorothy Hargrove kept a notebook for 5 years, and when her family came back for the money, she read it to them. Donna felt it first. She runs a small real estate office on Oak Street. 3 agents, a part-time assistant, a listing in the church bulletin. She depends on reputation. People in Bryan County buy houses from people they trust. A client, a woman selling her mother's home after the mother moved into assisted living, called Donna's office to cancel a listing appointment. She told the assistant, "I don't think I want to work with someone who didn't visit her own mother for 5 years." A second client pulled out the next week. Same reason, different words. Donna's mortgage situation, 2 properties, both underwater, payments she'd been juggling since before the pandemic, got tighter. The income she was counting on to keep things together wasn't coming. Her last message to Grandma arrived on a Tuesday. "You've destroyed this family." Grandma read it. I saw her pick up the phone, look at the screen for a few seconds, then set it face down on the nightstand. She picked up her crossword puzzle and found 17 down. I asked if she was okay. She looked at me over her reading glasses and said very quietly, "I didn't destroy this family, sweetheart. I just stopped pretending it wasn't already broken." Then she went back to her crossword. Mom calls me on a Wednesday evening. I'm sitting on my couch, still in scrubs, eating cereal for dinner because the grocery run didn't happen this week. "Shelby." Her voice is thin, tired. "Do you have any idea what it felt like? Sitting in that room, hearing your name read out loud over and over, 1,800 times?" "I can imagine, Mom." "No, you can't." I set the cereal bowl on the coffee table. "Mom, I asked you to come with me. Every single week for 5 years, every Tuesday, every Saturday. I texted you the address. I offered to pick you up." Silence. The kind that fills a phone line like static. "I know," she says. "I know you did. I was afraid of Donna. I was afraid the whole family would say I was taking your side. Taking Grandma's side isn't taking my side, Mom. Taking Grandma's side is just being her daughter." She starts to cry, not the dramatic kind, the kind that leaks out when you've been holding something back for too long and your body decides it's done waiting. Part of me wants to comfort her, say it's okay, that I understand, that we'll figure it out. That's the reflex, the one built into me by 28 years of being the child who smooths things over. I don't give in to it. Not because I'm cruel, because comforting her right now would let her off the hook. And she doesn't need comfort. She needs to sit with this. "Mom, I love you, but I can't keep pretending this is okay. If you want to fix things with Grandma, you have to go. Not for the will, not for me, because she's your mother." She cries for another minute. Then, "I'll try." Meadowbrook, Saturday, 10 o'clock. I'll be there. 3 weeks after the reading, Nurse Patty calls me on my lunch break. "Someone visited your grandmother this morning." My chest tightens. "Who?" "Marlene. Came alone. Brought hazelnut coffee." I lean against the break room wall and close my eyes. Hazelnut. She asked me what Grandma liked. She actually called me and asked. Patty tells me the visit lasted 45 minutes. Marlene sat on the porch with Dorothy. They talked about Marlene's youngest daughter starting high school. They talked about the azalea bushes in the Meadowbrook garden. They talked about nothing important and everything that mattered. When I visit on Saturday, Grandma is doing her crossword by the window, same as always. But there's something different. On her nightstand, next to the reading lamp and the silver-framed glasses, there's a paper coffee cup from the gas station on Route 12. "Marlene's?" Grandma nods. "Hazelnut. She asked you, didn't she?" "She did." Grandma smiles. The real one, the one that reaches her eyes. "She should have asked 5 years ago, but she asked now. That counts for something." I reach into my bag and pull out the blue notebook, the original one she gave me at the reading. I've been carrying it with me since that Saturday. I flip to the last page Grandma wrote. The handwriting is careful even. The final entry reads, "Saturday, family came. I read the notebook. Shelby was there." Below it, in different handwriting, Grandma's, but fresher, looser, A new line has been added on a page I didn't see before. She must have written it after the reading, before she gave the notebook to me. Saturday, Marlene visited, brought hazelnut coffee, first time in 5 years. I close the notebook and hold it against my chest for a minute before I put it back in my bag. 2 months after the reading. I'm sitting in my Honda Civic in the Meadowbrook parking lot, windows down, engine off. October air coming through, cool enough for a jacket, warm enough for the windows. The oak trees along the drive have started to turn. Red at the edges, gold in the middle. The blue notebook is on my lap. I've read it cover to cover 3 times since Grandma gave it to me. Every page, every entry, 1,826 lines in careful teacher handwriting. Some entries are just dates and names. Some have small details. Shelby brought lemon cupcakes, or Shelby wore the blue scrubs today, or crossword done in 19 minutes, personal best. Some entries are just 2 words, no visitors. The longest entry is 4 lines, Grandma's 80th birthday. She wrote, October 14th, birthday. Shelby came early. Cupcakes, candles, happy birthday song. Nurse Patty brought sparkling cider. We clinked cups. I wished for nothing because I had everything I needed in the room. I close the notebook and sit with it. This isn't a weapon. It was never a weapon. It's a record of presence. A log of who showed up and who didn't, kept by a woman who spent 37 years taking attendance. It's the most honest document I've ever held. No arguments, no accusations, no editorializing, just dates and facts. And the facts are devastating because they're simple. I open a new notebook I bought last week. Same brand, same blue cover, from the same Dollar General on Route 12. I uncap a pen and write the first entry in my own handwriting. Tuesday, visited Grandma. She did the crossword in 22 minutes today. New record. I smile. She'll want to know I wrote that down. Donna sends me an email the next week. Not a text, an email. The kind of communication that leaves a paper trail because she's still thinking like someone building a legal case. Shelby, I'm asking you, as family, to talk to your grandmother about revising the will. What happened in that room was emotional manipulation. The fair thing is to honor the original will that divided the estate equally. Please do the right thing. I read it once. I typed my reply in under a minute. Aunt Donna, Grandma's will is her decision. I don't influence it, and I don't need to. I visit her because she's my grandmother. If you want to change your relationship with her, you know the address. Meadowbrook Senior Living, 412 Birch Lane, Clayton, North Carolina. Visiting hours are 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. I wish you well. I don't block Donna. I don't forward her email to the family. I don't make a speech about accountability. I just stop engaging. The boundary is simple. I won't be the middleman. I won't negotiate. I won't translate. I'll keep showing up. That evening, I call Mom. I'll be at Meadowbrook Saturday at 10. If you want to come, I'd be happy to see you there. If you're not ready, I understand. But I'll be there either way. A long pause. I can hear the TV in her living room. Some cooking show. The sounds of chopping and sizzling. I'll try, Shelby. I'll try to be there. That's all I'm asking, Mom. She's quiet for another few seconds. Then very softly. She really kept that notebook every single day? Every single day. I didn't know. You could have. Meadowbrook is 40 minutes from your house. She doesn't answer, but she doesn't hang up either. We stay on the line, breathing, for another 30 seconds before she says goodnight. Tuesday, 6:30 in the morning. I pull into the Meadowbrook lot after my overnight shift, same as every Tuesday for the past 5 years. 2 hazelnut coffees from the gas station on Route 12. Grandma is on the porch. October morning light comes through the oak canopy in patches, gold on the white railing, gold on her hands folded over the crossword in her lap. She's wearing the lavender cardigan. The silver glasses are perched on her nose. She looks up when I sit down. Sweetheart, 7 across. Loyalty proven by presents, not promises. 10 letters. I blow on my coffee. Think for 3 seconds. Devotion. She writes it in, pen, no pencil, because Dorothy Hargrove doesn't second-guess her answers, and nods. Exactly right. We sit. We drink the hazelnut coffee. A cardinal lands on the bird feeder Patty helped her hang last spring. The morning is quiet, the kind of quiet that doesn't need to be filled. I open the new blue notebook on my knee and write, Tuesday, visited Grandma, crossword clue, devotion. She sees me writing and smiles. Doesn't ask what I wrote. She already knows. I'm not telling this story to punish my family. I'm not telling it for revenge or sympathy or internet points. I'm telling it because somewhere out there, right now, someone is driving across town after a double shift to sit with a person the rest of the family forgot. Someone is signing a visitor log where their name is the only one on the page. Someone is bringing coffee and books and showing up week after week without applause. If that's you, you're not invisible. You're not wasting your time. You are everything. And one day, somebody is going to write your name in their notebook, every single page. If this story made you feel something, I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below. Are you the Shelby in your family? Do you know one? And if you take one thing from this story, let it be this. Showing up isn't just a nice thing to do. It's the only thing that counts. My grandmother taught 3rd grade for 37 years. She graded on attendance. And in the end, that's exactly how she wrote her will. Check the description for more stories like this one. And please, if you haven't already, subscribe and hit that bell. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.